7 hours. That's how long the pilot and passenger were stuck dangling 100 feet in the air overnight. It was a grueling rescue effort. So here's a play-by-play. Yesterday at 3:01 p.m., the small single-engine plane took off from an airport in White Plains, New York. Aboard were the pilot, Patrick Merkel, and his passenger, Jan Williams. 5:29 p.m., the plane then crashes into power lines and that utility tower near Rothbury Drive and Goshen Road in Gaithersburg. That's just 4 miles from Montgomery County Air Park. When Pepco crews arrived, they shut down power to those lines, plunging more than 120,000 customers into darkness.
Yeah, and then by 12:36 a.m., 7 hours later, rescue crews had Williams and Merkel safely back on the ground. Onlookers cheering as that pilot was carted to an ambulance. They couldn't wait for that moment, right? It took another 3 hours to get the plane itself down at around 3 a.m. Tonight, the focus shifts to what happened in the air.
Lots of questions. This is a big story, and we're going big with our team coverage. Megan Rivers is live at Montgomery County Air Park tonight, digging into the other plane crash related to this airport. Yeah, but first we want to get to our Bruce LaShan, who is live at that crash site where the investigation continues tonight. And Bruce, what are you learning right now?
Hey, Lorenzo. Well, the great news that we just got is that one of the people that was on the plane right back here that crashed into the power lines is now out of the hospital, and the other person is in stable condition and expected to be okay, which is really a miracle considering this crazy, harrowing overnight ordeal that they went through.
Cheers from a crowd of onlookers just after midnight as firefighters wheeled the pilot into a medic unit. 66-year-old Pat Merkel of D.C. and his passenger, 66-year-old Janet Williams of Louisiana, had spent more than 7 hours teetering in a wrecked plane stuck in a utility tower about 100 feet above the ground.
Looks like someone's on the phone with the pilot. He's trapped in the plane with the other occupants.
911 call taker Laurel Mannion had been on the phone trying to keep them calm.
For 2 people who had just been in a plane crash, I was very, I don't know if proud's the right word, but just kind of amazed on how they were able to keep it together.
There were times where it looked like they really wanted to climb out and climb down themselves.
And for all of you that's on that plane down, just be advised the pilot can feel the plane shifting. So if you're close to that, just keep an eye out. Again, he can feel the plane shifting.
The first time they felt the plane shift due to the wind, I think that's when, they both really wanted to, get out of the plane.
The fire chief says they suffered orthopedic injuries and hypothermia from the cold, and he had to come up with a plan to secure the plane, de-energize the power lines, and make sure no stray or static power would hurt the rescuers.
How do you eat this elephant? And you eat it one bite at a time. And you have the elephant here as the aircraft, the power, the pole, and the height.
Pepco says the propeller chewed through some of the high voltage lines and then impaled itself in the tower. Merkel, an experienced pilot, was flying from New York to the Montgomery County Air Park. He hit the lines about a mile from the landing strip.
Ask yourself what it would be like in a car to hit a wall at 80 to 100 miles an hour. I'd say pretty lucky.
A pilot with the same name crashed his plane into a mountain in Utah 30 years ago with his wife, his 2 young children, and their nanny, and they all survived.
I'm just ultimately glad that both of you are really okay.
All right, back now live. You can see the plane still here. The NTSB wants to take a look at that. It was getting foggy when the plane crashed, and other pilots have suggested that changing air pressure might have created problems with the altimeter, the altitude reading. The NTSB says it is looking at everything from the aircraft to the environment to the pilot. And NTSB investigators are hoping to talk to both the pilot and the passenger very, very soon.